Welcome to my first ride review impressions of the 2022 Triumph Tiger 660 Sport.
So the 2022 Triumph Tiger 660 Sport. This is Eric there on my bike, and this is his son Kai's bike. The funny thing is, Kai doesn't even know I'm riding it, although I do have an open invite from him to ride it, so it's nice to ride this thing. And boy, does it go! Wow, it's smooth, it's light, it's agile, and it's got some grunt. I'm amazed, actually. I mean, all the reviews of it are great. They all say how fast it is and smooth and agile, and I have to say I agree with them. Wow, what an amazing little middleweight. Very punchy, very nice. As initial impressions go, this won't be a proper first ride video. It's going to be much more about initial impressions, because we're in heavy commuter traffic and we're not that far from home, so we have to it's not going to be like a nice ride in the mountains. Can say that front brake is very, you can see it's very touchy. You don't need to touch it much, and there's a fair bit of dive on the forks when you do, but there is power there for sure. Clocks are pretty basic and slimish. Revs nicely, but all the key information is there. It's showing the speed you're going, the revs, got neutral. It's a shame this cable here kind of fails the clocks a little bit. It would be better if that was slightly out of the way. I guess you could cable tie that a little bit where he's got the B line, but let's see Triumph tidy that up a bit. Screen adjuster is nice, single hand on that to pull it open. I'm not going to adjust the mirrors, but I can see perfectly well out of them. Very nice. Love the engine on it. Wow, this is a good engine. Super smooth, nice and responsive, and it's got that real punchy torque in the mid-range that will get the whole bike moving. Lovely colour this, kind of hammer blue I would say, something like that. It's a single hand adjuster for the screen, and it's got a good kind of 3 or 4 increments, I guess. There's about 85 degrees at the moment. Got a power socket down here, which is running the quad lock, so it's routed the cables underneath and up to run the quad lock to power the phone. It doesn't have cruise control, but it does have heated grips. You can't have everything when you're juggling a balance of a fair price with decent performance and quality engineering. Comfort wise, not bad. I think the seat could do with a little bit more padding. Maybe I just got a bit soft, used to my lovely sumptuous multistrada ahead, but the suspension for its price is great. No problem at all. Feels pretty nice, pretty comfortable. Non-adjustable forks of course, but they work pretty well over a decent range, compliant. A little bit of dive when you're braking hard, but not too bad. Adjusters, there's a regular cable clutch, and you've got a span adjuster on the brake lever over here. Nice dual headlights on this. I think only one of them comes on with the low beam headlight, which is pretty much a regulatory thing for Europe or England, I think, so they probably keep that consistent across the world. Legroom is pretty good. It's very good seat to ground. I'm about 6'1", 6'2", and I've got no problem getting completely flat-footed. and it's not too tight in terms of the foot pegs. The foot pegs feel high enough that they give you excellent ground clearance, but there's plenty of leg room, so you're not going to cramp up too much on a long journey. There is a gear indicator, which I always like to see on a bike that's, you know, pretty quick. And for a middleweight bike, it definitely has a lovely turn of speed about it, and of course acceleration is always a balance of the torque and the weight of the vehicle. This is a nice lightweight machine with reasonable torque from its triple inline engine. Nice LED lighting around, and we've got these nice hand guards, but I think that might be an extra. I think they may have paid to have these put on, and that will help, of course, in terms of keeping the cold off the old fingers in the chilly weather. It's quite interesting riding behind my bike. It's the first time I've actually seen it from behind, being ridden by somebody else. Of course, I totally trust Eric. He's a fantastic rider. Very similar lines and riding skill. So yeah, it's nice to see somebody else ride it, get a perspective of what my bike looks like. But no problem at all in these suburban environments keeping up on the Tiger. You just absolutely would not, even with the 170 horsepower of the Multistrada, you would not get remotely left behind at these suburban speeds. You have to stretch the lungs a bit towards the more three-figure speeds, I think, before the Ducati would walk away from the Triumph. People have to be a bit honest with themselves, to be honest, about what type of bike they want. I think for a very experienced rider coming down from a 1200 or something, this would be great. They would really welcome the lightweight and the agility, and it would make a fantastic commuting bike because it's so smooth and well fueled. I mean, I'm fifth gear here, 30 miles an hour, and I could be in second or third or fourth, doesn't matter. It's buttery smooth, lovely, and that would be perfect, you know, for commuting. For the other side of the spectrum, somebody like Kai, Eric's son, who's just come up, he's done a couple of thousand miles on a Honda Monkey to get his bearings, and he's a car driver as well, so he's got good road sense to begin with. It's like a perfect larger middleweight stroke first big bike, if you like, perfect for him, because this bike is so forgiving, so easy to ride, so forgiving that it will allow him to make a few mistakes and take a few liberties without ending up in the weeds. It's a very nice machine in that respect. There's a little bit more padding in the seat if you sit further back, and it cups your rear that little bit better. It's that little bit wider, but I would still say if it was mine for doing, you know, 200-300 mile days, I'd probably want a seat upgrade, you know, Corbin saddle or something like that. For young Kai, who's you know, like half my weight or something, it's probably ample for him. He probably thinks it's extremely comfortable, and it's not bad at all. It's certainly not like a sports bike or anything like that, but it is fairly sporty, and it's always a trade-off, of course. If you've got a thinner seat, you can get your feet down easier, you feel more feedback from the road, and that's a visceral thing in terms of enjoyment as well. But in terms of you know, just get on it and ride 300 miles, yeah, you might want a different seat for sure. Yeah, switchgear not too bad. It's always built down to a slight budget at this price range, you know. I'm spoilt, of course. I'm used to owning $30,000 motorcycles where you expect chunky, smooth, quality switchgear, but I would say it's certainly on a par or better than the Japanese bikes for sure. And there's little things about this that's just kind of nice quality, you know, the lacquer on the graphics on the Triumph logo on the tank, it's very nice, much nicer finish than most Japanese bikes. The black matte, almost satin handlebars, very classy. Little design elements like that are what ingratiate you to the bike in the first place, and what grows your love for it. It's surprising. It's tiny things like that that change the way you feel about the bike and make you either love it or hate it, I guess. And I can see why the reviews of this bike have been so universally praised globally, because for somebody like me who's kind of mid 50s and used to riding big bikes, it feels wonderfully agile and lively and fun, and kind of reminds me more of bikes of my youth, but much more up to date, better quality, smoother, more refined. Two key takeaways immediately, or three really: it's agility, it's refinement, and it's fun. It's those three things. That is the Tiger in a nutshell, basically. It is smooth, refined, super agile, and a lot of fun. Yeah, this is a very, very good bike if you have the legs for it. MkII is pretty tall like me, and his dad, I guess he's kind of knocking on 6 foot or something, so it's not a tall bike for him. I think you may struggle if you were 5'5" or something, but this will fit most people, particularly those between 5'7" and 6 foot, say, very nicely. What's not to like, really? Triumph offer a good dealership experience. They offer a good warranty, good build quality, and so what else could you buy kind of within this price range? Or I think probably the most obvious thing is the Yamaha FZ or FZ07, kind of around this price range, and similar kind of performance. You have to go up a bit after that. It's probably looking at something like the FJ9. It's a sports tourer, so you're going up in price, and not everybody wants to spend the extra money, that's for sure. And if you go down, you know, there's nothing really I can think of off the top of my head which can compete with this on a level playing field for less money. This is really a smart decision to buy a Tiger middleweight. Triumph are on a roll now, really. The 900 is a great bike, great triple. The 1200 is now a great triple. They've done significant things with the 1200. I should be riding one soon and posting a video on that, but that's lost a significant amount of weight, and they've moved the weight and made that bike basically 100% new, which is great. And this, of course, is a clean sheet. The engine is derived from the Trident, which again has been very well received globally, but this adds much more practicality. Of course, you've got higher, wider bars, you've got a nice adjustable screen to protect you, you can get your heated grips on and your handguards, and KLIM, it's not fitted today, but KLIM's got panniers for this, and that basically makes it a great middleweight tourer, and I like it. The engine is particularly nice. Not only is it smooth and has more torque than I was expecting, it is also very smooth in its refinement. When it's at very low revs and perhaps in a gear too high, you often hear a kind of roughness, you know, in the power delivery, but not today. This is whether you're at low revs or high revs or medium revs, it doesn't matter what gear you're in, it's utterly smooth and really feels refined. Let's not hit the deer. This is it's won't show on camera, but this hill is about 45 degrees. You can't talk when you're walking up it. You kind of get out of breath very easily, and yeah, it's like I'm on the flat in this. It's very, very smooth, very refined. His dad and I kind of pushed KLIM into looking at this bike. He was interested in one or two other bikes, but we felt this was kind of the best thing for him, and he is so glad that he chose this because it really suits his needs. So back on my Multistrada now. Feels good. Yeah, hard to beat Multistrada. It really is a bike I love. It really suits my needs. But that little Tiger, I have to say, is a great little bike. Very hard to beat for for the price, but it's a great bike in its own right. You know, just ignoring the price and all that jazz, it's just, you know, would you enjoy owning this bike and riding it? And yeah, no question, it's a great all-rounder. Very, very nice. No wonder Kai loves it so much. He talks about it very with great excitement, as he should. What a great little bike. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up there. Maybe I'll ride it again on another day, but a great first ride. Really enjoyed it. Thanks very much, Kai.
Hey you, if you want to become one of the Ride On people, don't forget to subscribe. Ride often, ride carefully, ride on.